Hey, Travis Ortmeyer here at the Titan Gym. I just want to go over a few things that I like to do pre-workout to make sure that my body's feeling good and ready to fire on all cylinders. So today, I've got a little bit of a hip impingement here. Something I've been dealing with off and on for a while now. But the trick to fixing it is easy. You just take a band, anchor it around something that's not going to move, then wrap it around the inside of your thigh. Because what we're going to do is use the band to distract the joint. We're going to take some of the pressure of that impingement off. We're going to loosen up the joint capsule and allow for more freedom of movement. The first stretch that we're going to do is called Pigeon. Drop down. There we go. See, now I wouldn't have been able to get into this position a minute ago without this band pulling on my hip. But this allows for this freedom of movement, so now I can stretch my glutes out and get my ass firing. Now, once you find a spot where you feel the stretch, kind of work yourself side to side without letting this hip pop up. You want to try and keep your hips square to the ground, and then slowly shift from side to side. Just a few seconds there. There we go. I can feel it loosening up a lot now. This is a great stretch, especially if you've been traveling like I have the last couple of weeks. All that time stuck on a plane, everything gets bound up. This is a great one to do as soon as you can get off that flight and do it. I've actually taken a band with me and done this stretch in the airport. Some of my longer flights, it's kind of a lifesaver. Because of this specific impingement, I'm also going to do a hip flexor stretch with the same concept in mind. These stretches may vary based on the individual, and that's why I suggest trying a few different ones to see which ones help loosen your hips up. So the next one, we're going to face the anchor, pull the band right up at the top of your hamstring, kneel down, and now we have the band pulling the hip forward in the socket. Really get a lot of tension on it. And then squeeze your glute, push your hips through. You'll feel a really good stretch on the front side of this leg. Kind of work into it. We're gonna keep moving. Make this more of an active stretch than a passive stretch. You can increase the stretch by putting your arm, the same side arm up. It's gonna lengthen this whole side. Kind of lean up and back, and then just shift back and forth. Each time you go forward, really think about squeezing this glute, flexing, engaging that whole posterior chain. Now this last one is called the frog stretch. We're gonna set up similar to the pigeon stretch where the band is distracting laterally. Then we're gonna get down on hands and knees with the toes pointed out. And then you're just gonna sit back into a stretch. Yeah, this one's really tight. Kind of work yourself back and forward. It's got that band pulling laterally, distracting the joint, getting the bones out of the way of each other is this really simplified way of putting it. But it's taking the pressure off of the impingement and allowing for more freedom of movement so that I can stretch and warm these muscles up and get them firing properly. Now I feel pretty loosened up. We'll go on to the next step.